Kayshon Boutte exploded onto the scene his freshman year at LSU, finishing the season with a record-breaking game in which he had 308 yards and 3 touchdowns against Ole Miss. Boutte continued to improve his stock through 2021, and though it was cut short by an ankle injury, he was dominating through 2021, leading the nation in touchdown receptions up to his injury. He was expected to emerge as a top wide receiver for the 2023 class, with a breakout year in 2022. Here we are though in April 2023 after a disappointing combine and months of red flags building up, completely unsure of where he'll be drafted in a few weeks. In this video, we're going to take a look at whether or not his talent is worth the risk or if it'll end up being a catastrophic draft fall. Let's start out with this. Boutte is actually a damn good player on tape. There's a lot to like, and the idea of him being a first rounder at a point in time makes sense. His biggest strength is his explosiveness after the catch. It's hard to take him down in the open field as he is physical and strong, and he plays bigger than his size. He makes defenders miss with ease, and tacklers will often just bounce right off of him, while being able to easily burst out of the catch and accelerate with breakaway speed. He is also just a much better athlete than his testing indicated, which does muddy his evaluation, but strictly looking at the 2021 film, he's an explosive athlete with fluid movement. You can move Boutte around the field as he possesses a versatile skill set, being able to play in the slot and on the outside with solid route running in the intermediate areas of the field, and being able to nicely separate from corners as he's particularly good at finding the open space and sitting down in soft spots and zones to make the job easier on his QB. He also works really well off script and is always working to find an open spot for his QB to throw to him. He has excellent body control on the sideline as well, and he does a pretty good job of working to the catch point and will fight through defenders to come down with tough catches in traffic. Before I even get into 2022 though, there were still some notable weaknesses on his 2021 tape, primarily his questionable hands. He's prone to concentration drops and would seem to be a bit too eager to take it and run, leading to just random drops. He's a bit of a body catcher and didn't seem to have the greatest catch radius and to be able to jump up and pluck balls out of the air on contested catches. His release package isn't impressive either, struggling to beat heavy press and not being able to fire his feet quick enough to beat corners off the line. So while his 2021 film was excellent besides these weaknesses, and you can see why he was being mocked in the first round before 2022, this past year was a monumental disappointment on and off the field. After the ankle injury, he didn't have the same explosiveness and seemed to be struggling with this throughout the year, and even possibly leaking into the pre-draft process after seeing how poorly he tested. It's entirely possible that this injury has lingered and stuck with him to this point, and that he maybe has lost the athleticism that he once had. He had a hard time staying on the field in 2022, and didn't get much of an opportunity to improve his draft stock. His athletic testing was truly abysmal as well, with all of his metrics being average to just terrible, particularly with his vertical jump coming in at 29 inches, which was a laughable second percentile. Not to mention, Boutte reportedly butted heads with his coaches at LSU, and while these reports are always uncertain, if there's any truth to it, he could be uncoachable and a terrible locker room presence. Combining the red flags that built up in 2022 with the drop-off in production and performance, his draft projection has become complicated and muddied, and truthfully, I have no idea where he will end up. I have him graded as a second-round prospect based on his tape, but I'm totally unsure of his projection. His 2021 film warrants him being a potential first-rounder, but with what we know now in 2022, he could even end up going undrafted. Interviews are going to be crucial for him, along with how his ankle checks out. Boutte is a massive gamble for any team, and could end up being a true number 1 wide receiver who works out, or can end up being a what-if that completely unravels once he hits the league. Whether or not you draft him comes down to one crucial question for your front office. Are you feeling lucky?